Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video series where we talk about digital marketing tactics and strategies to help grow your business. Today's episode is really inspired by the episode that we did on Friday as I had one of the guests on the show, George Papadakis from the Hoff. Really a great conversation, and I wanted to do a follow-up because over the weekend, I think something really came to my mind is that, with what's happening with COVID-19 and the president announcing that they're extending, the shelter in place and work from home through the end of April. Over the next 30 days, we're going to continue to see what the CEO of Cloudflare announced, findings of that internet traffic is increasing anywhere from 10 to 30% globally. And it makes sense, right? Because we're working from home, or we are, just sheltering in place. We're really trying to flatten the curve. We're trying to, protect our families, protect ourselves. And so at the end of the day, what's happening is that many people are using the internet, whether it's, productivity, web-based tools, video chat, Google Hangouts, Zoom, all the different platforms. But people are searching more than ever for products, services, businesses, and things of that nature. So the activity on the internet is all of a sudden exploding right now, because that's how people are having to get and find information about everything. So I think that today's episode is: what should an emergency SEO strategic plan include in 2020? And I'm going to give you guys a 12-point checklist. This is a fundamental emergency pack, meaning you haven't done any SEO in years. You've been just dealing with your normal everyday to day business, and you really haven't, put together an SEO strategic plan and executed it. So today, I want to give you a very simple 12-point checklist for you to go through and check off to make sure you've got your basics covered in this situation that we're in. Because the work that you do to go through the checklist is going to be extremely valuable when we get into the end of June, July, and August and September of 2020, and things are different. So, and now is a great time. We get a lot of calls right now for website upgrades and things of that nature. Pretty much everything digital, everything internet. We're getting an increase of requests for that kind of information. So this is a helpful list. So let's start off with, and I'm going to kind of put this in like a 6-month time frame so that you can, kind of be able to figure out, okay, what should I do, like right now, what should I do next month? And then the next month after that, how can I have a very easy plan to be able to execute this? All right, so in month number 1, we really want to start off with the basic, and we want to make sure that that your website is recorded in the local directory listings. And what I mean by that, and again, let's make the assumption, if we will, that this checklist is really designed for a local business and or a state association or state, a business that has statewide reach or regional reach. So local or statewide regional reach, this is a great checklist for you. So again, number 1 is you want to make sure that you make sure your website is listed in local directories. Now, what are local directories? They are essentially websites that provide an address listing or a business listing for all types of businesses. So you're going to find things like, manta.com. You're going to find, just all types of business directories that you can fill out a profile, upcity.com, just basically all of these business directory. They're online websites that their purpose is to provide directories. Typically you're going to find there's about 75 or so sort of, core directories that you can go on. Many of these are free. You can just go in, create a free account, put in your business profile, put in your website URL, and that's the link. So that's step one, number one, that you're going to do in that first month. Number two, we've talked about this before, but this is absolutely critical, is go to your Google My Business listing and make sure that you fill out your profile completely. Now, inside of Google My Business listing, you're going to see that there's a services area. And it's going to be important because they made a change last year in that you can give a little bit more information and really enhance, instead of like having to be so generic and be in a quote category. So making sure that you fill out your Google My Business listing and enhance it, hours of operation, photos, go through your Google My Business listing account and just make sure everything is updated. Hours of operation, obviously link to your website, your phone number, all of those things. That's number two. Number three is, this is something that a lot of people don't know that is about. I think this is a great one. Number three is write a very short Google post. Again, inside of your Google My Business listing, you can write a short post. What I mean by short, maybe it's 3 or 4 paragraphs. It could be 100, 120 words. It doesn't have to be long. But you can hyperlink if you mention, and again, this post can be, just announcing your COVID-19 service hours, or it could be, telling them about what your business is doing as a result, or, it could be of that nature, or it could be, just some other helpful information. But the key is that you're going to hyperlink part of that post back to your website. And so that post is on the Google platform itself, and it's linking back to your site. And the power of that, and which is why it is an absolute essential for a emergency SEO strategic plan, because you probably haven't done it, which means you're starting from ground zero. So that's those three things. If you can do those in month number one, you're going to be off to the right start. And it won't take you very much time to do that. So in the next basically 3 months after that, you want to sort of level up, if you will, on those processes. So what I mean by that is you will find that there's a platform called Yext, Y-E-X-T, and being able to list your business and update your Yext listings is important. I'll tell you why. The Yext platform is the platform that is used by Amazon devices when you ask Amazon, hey, what about a location near me, pizza, accounting, lawyer, what have you. If you ask a device, an Amazon device, that question, it's not getting your Google My Business listing information, because Amazon and Google, they're kind of, competitors. And so they're not partnering. So they do partner with Yext, and I did a whole podcast on that. If you want to go back and listen to that, it's really insightful. So what you want to be able to do is make sure that, especially if you have multiple locations in your local market, so maybe you've got one on the east side of town, maybe you've got one on the west side of town, that Yext platform will really allow you to make sure that, number one, their platform makes sure that all of those directories that we talked about in step one, that they're all consistent, right? And so that you like, if someone had created one, on some obscure directory and misspelled your name, your business name, or didn't have the right phone number because you updated the phone number, or you don't have your hours of operation, the Yext platform allows you to really make sure that that you have the correct information across 7,500 different directory listings. So that is a fantastic platform. So that's number 4. Number 5, you want to do in month 2, 3, and 4 as part of your emergency SEO strategic plan is you want to make sure that you write one post on your Google posts inside of that Google My Business listing. You want to write at least one of those every month. And again, you want to link it back to your website content. The third item in this months 2, 3, and 4 is you want to make sure that you go in and you at least enhance or create a new product page or service page or enhance the existing content on one of your website pages. Another really smart idea is when you do that each month, you might write up your Google post about that page that you just updated and link back to it, right? So the idea here is that you're letting Google know, hey, we've got new content. You're putting it on their platform and you're linking it back to your website. And by doing this, you're sending a signal, kind of a digital little ping, if you will, to the most popular search engine on the planet that everyone uses, that you've got relevant new content on your website. So again, kind of the 3-pack of month 2, 3, and 4 is number 1, make sure that if you have multiple locations, you use a platform like Yext to make sure that you've got these power listings, if you will, across all the directories. Number 2, write one post per month in your Google My Business listing account. And number 3 is to write either one new page of your website or enhance an existing. What I mean by that is, you may have your service page and there's only one paragraph. You want a minimum 277 word count on every single page if you really want Google to see it as authoritarian. You want it to be an authoritarian link, right? Show that you are an expert. And the minimum threshold for that is 277 words. So when I talk about enhancing a page on your website, you look at your page, you look at how many words are on there, you copy them, put them into Word, you count them out. Word will figure that out for you and put it down at the bottom. You want 277 words, or round up to 300, right? We'll make it easy. So that's steps 1 through 6, and that's months 1 through 4. So now, and again, hopefully, I get right now, it's a difficult time. A lot of businesses are going to minimum hours, reduction in staff. But this is a time that you need to reinvest back in the business, put a little sweat equity back in the business, and start producing content over the next 6 months, but be strategic in it. And I think that these strategies and tactics that I'm talking about will pay off huge. When we are 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 4 months from now. All right, so let's assume that we're 5 months out. We've done these 6 steps so far. Now, what are the last 6 of our 12 point checklist? Okay. So in month 5, the thing that we want to do is we want to look at a keyword evaluator tool. There's a lot of tools out there. You can just Google keyword evaluator tool, go out there. There's free ones. There's things that you can sign up for, $20 a month. You don't have to spend a bunch of money to do that. But you want an evaluator tool because all the work that you've done over the last 4 months is going to make a big difference. And you need to be able to look at and have some measurement of, okay, hey, you know what? We provide services A, B, and C. We see that in this evaluator tool that we rank very well for, topics A and B, but C we don't. So what that does is that lets you know, okay, so for month 5, if I'm going to be writing my Google post and my website post or page content, this is what I need to focus on. This is the keyword. And again, understand that by doing this, you are actually providing a higher level of service, right, to your clients. Because in a time like where we are now, being able to help people find the answers that they need quickly is so important. And so by taking the time to write it out and make it easy for them to find, because the search engines are trying to provide them answers to the questions that they're typing in, the queries, you're actively doing something to help the humans, and you're actively doing something to help your business grow for the future. So the next thing you want to look at is, okay, what are my priority clusters, my keyword cluster groups? And what I mean by that is, you can rank for literally, dozens, if not hundreds of keywords because of the nature of your business. And so, depending on what kind of work you're in, like maybe you're in real estate, or, maybe you're a nonprofit organization and you provide, access to the arts or what have you. Being able to go in a very contextual, granular. So as a realtor, you might talk about foreclosure properties, or you might talk about bank-owned properties, or you might talk about, all the different facets of the real estate transaction. Well, or if you're that nonprofit organization and you've got services around, art classes, you go into specifics of what are those, very watercolor classes versus oil painting classes, or what have you. You want to write, and so you've got to identify what are these core clusters. And what I mean by that, priority clusters, if no one knows who you are, if people don't know the name of your business, but they type in that topic and the plus word of your local market, Tallahassee, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, whatever it might be in your city, how well do you perform? Are you at the top? Are you on page 1? Right? So the whole key here is you want to make sure that when someone types in the name of products or service that you relate to, what are those core products and services? The ones that you want to absolutely make sure that you show up for. Then that is your priority clusters. And again, you can identify those if you go back to, we'll call it point number 7, which is the keyword evaluator tool. You can look at and analyze and go, okay, are my priority clusters, keyword clusters in this grouping? And if they're not, then you need a plan for that and start producing that content. Like I said, once a month. You can really amp it up by going once a week. So I think that's really key. Now, the other thing that you want to be able to do is make that analysis of those clusters, write it down, and create almost like a content calendar, editorial calendar, if you will, of, okay, we're going to make sure that here's the keyword clusters, they're the topics, and I'm going to write out these, blog posts that I'm going to create in my Google listing account and as well on my website. So being able to have that analysis and creating a plan for writing that out is really key. And that's number 8. Or priority clusters, number 8. Number 9 is your analysis and your plan. And then number 10, I think if you can, it's always a good thing to measure something that you want to improve on. Again, there are a lot of different dashboards and performance measurement tools that are out there that you can kind of plug in your website for. But when you have a tool like that, because search engine optimization, it's not a transactional type of strategy where like digital marketing, you pay to put an ad up, they click it, they go to your website. Like that's very transactional. You can see very clearly when you have a result. So if you're going to put in all this hard work of making sure that your website is in 75 directories and making sure your Google My Business listing profile is done and making sure that if someone asks, Amazon device where you are, like being able to do all of that, these are fundamental, absolutely must have, part of an emergency SEO strategic plan. But you don't get the instant gratification of a sale resulting of it. This is just part of, you must have this. Because if you don't, you're making it difficult for people to find you. And in a situation where we find ourselves in right now, you cannot do that. So finding a dashboard is really, an essential part, number 10, if you will, in this list of have a dashboard. Now, if you can, many of the dashboards that are out there will allow you to build forms where people can fill information out. Those are trackable for your website. If you have a sales funnel, you can use that to, identify leads to your various departments or to various reps. Some of these dashboards will come with a call tracking, so you can really monitor the phone calls. Obviously, people are calling a lot right now as well to try to find answers. So if you can have a dashboard that has that type of setup, it almost acts like a little, CRM, a little customer relationship management. So now you're getting to see some real-time results of all this content where people are finding your post and calling or emailing or filling out a form. And now you're looking at these, key performance indicators, right? Your KPI. This is in month 5, you're really taking your game up and being able to invest a few dollars in a dashboard. You're 5 months out from where we are today. So we're talking about, it's April. We're talking about, September. And hopefully what we're seeing is we've turned the ship and we're headed towards a better economic outlook for your business. So again, the idea here is to progress. Start with the basics. Start with the minimum time that you need to invest in your SEO strategy, and then as you kind of move out, put more resources to this so that you've got analytics, analysis, performance indicators, so you can really figure out how are you going to grow your business and how are you going to rebound from having to have the door shut for the last 45 days. All right, so number 11, this is really critical, and this is about your creative content process. So we talked about having that priority cluster for your keywords. You really want to make sure that you have you really want to think about placement. You want to have content on your own website. You want to have content on a third-party website. And then ideally, you want to get content on a news or media outlet. So again, writing your content, it's about creating the content and then placement of the content. That's what number 11, and this is really important. You want to write the content and you want to publish it on your own website, but you also want to write it and have it published in an article for a third party. Well, what would that look like? Well, maybe you submit it to the association that you are a member of, and you ask them, hey, can I write an article and post it on your association blog? Or you go to some other affiliate or partner or ally that you're a part of, and you want to have them post that article and link back to your website. Now, that third party link back to you, the more recognized the platform is, the better for you, right? Because you want that link. Imagine this: if you were let's say you were a let's say you did research, your company did research for businesses. Well, if you wrote an article as a research company and you went to a website that's very well known in the research community and you did an article about how to conduct research and analysis, public research and analysis during COVID-19, and you go through that point and you do a link back to your website at some point in the article, but it's on a website where other research businesses go to find out information about the latest trends and things that happen in the research arena. Now, so that's that article. The last one is getting your content or having placement of an article in a media outlet. So a lot of media outlet companies will allow their users to submit blog entries from the community, and you can submit those and then write them and again link back to. So if you have a media outlet website linking to your website, media outlet websites have great authority because a lot of people go there to read content about news and weather and all that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of these media outlets, they're free. You can create a free account and write the content on there. I mean, and it's like free publicity. But the strategy here is to create the content, place it on your website, place it on a third-party affiliated industry site, and then the sort of third strategy tactic here is to write that content and have it published on a media outlet website and link back to your site. Number 12, the last thing is obviously all of this content that you're writing and sharing, or all of it that you're writing and publishing, you want to share it on social media, because the links that come back, that whether it's Twitter, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, if you can create that link and share it, you're getting that social signal, and then the search engines see it and go, oh, look, here are 10 humans that were on this social media platform that liked or shared this same link that came from this website. That again is part of this formula, if you will, that helps the search engines know how to rank one website over another, because they're publishing with frequency relevant and in-depth authoritative articles. Guys, I know this is an exhaustive list. I wanted it to be a really great 12-point checklist that you could have for your emergency SEO strategic plan for 2020. I hear it a lot from people that they haven't done anything with SEO in years or never. And these are the 12 things that you have to have. So again, this is kind of broken up over the next 6 months. So real quick to recap, number one, make sure that your website is listed in as many local directories, online directories as you can. Number two, make sure your Google My Business listing is enhanced and completely filled out. Number three, create a Google post every month and link it back to your website. Number four, go to Yext, yext.com, create an account, make sure all your locations and properties are consistently listed, hours of operation, phone number, contact information. Number five is, again, write a post on your Google My Business account. Number six, write a new page or enhance existing page word count on your website. Number seven, go through and find a keyword evaluator tool so you can figure out how you're doing all this work that you've done. Number eight, through that keyword tool, make sure you do a priority cluster, sort of, figure out what are your keyword clusters, what are the 4 most important or 5 most important groups of words, and make sure that you have those identified. Number 8 is to make an analysis and a plan for the writing of your content. And then number 9 is look for a dashboard and make sure that your dashboard is set up where you can have forms and tracking and really measure your key performance indicators. And let's see, I think I got a little bit off topic here, but next is Write a blog post for your website, write an article for a third-party website, and then write an article for a media outlet. And then lastly, make sure you amplify your list, amplify your content by sharing it on all of your social media channels. Woo! All right, guys, that is your 12-point checklist. I hope this has been extremely helpful for you. I just want to encourage each of you, whether you are a small business owner, whether you are the marketing director of your own business, or you're in an agency, now is the time for you to help yourself, help your clients to make sure that they have a great strategic SEO plan. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you'll subscribe to the podcast if you're watching the video. I hope you'll go check it out on Spotify or iTunes. You can just type in digital marketing by Digital Ops and you'll find it. A lot of great content, a lot of great guests come on the show. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Have yourself a great day and tune in next time.